First, what should we be saying about Tua after last night's loss?
Disappointed. I'm disappointed. I think, as I'm watching this game, there were signs of, he was in the rhythm. But this is the frustrating reality that we are faced with, not just as fans, but as people who absorb this game. Observe this game. Come on, beat them up, word. Yep. Tua Tagovailoa is making more than Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, Jaden Daniels. Am I pocket watching? No. I'm putting things into perspective here. Mm-hmm. What Biggie say? More money, more problems. Well, in this case, it should be more money, more expectations. When I see Tua Tagovailoa over this year alone, I've heard him more than I ever have. That's not to say you can't talk. Right. I like quiet Tua, Alabama Tua, chip on.
3 million. You know what I mean? Because they do. They always say that. I heard Cam Newton say it the other day.
Well, anybody can play quarterback in this league then. I mean, I want to see anybody on the streets come and play quarterback. I mean, Cam's doing his thing for sure, but I think it's easier to be able to hold a clicker and talk about it that way, or talk about what someone else is doing wrong when you're not going out and having to do the same as them.
He makes $53 million.
Yo, YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Q, back at y'all again with another video, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. Now, so apparently there's been some back and forth going on between Tua Tagovailoa and Cam Newton in the media recently. Cam Newton had criticized Tua's play the past 3 weeks of the season, and I guess Tua wasn't really happy about it, so he kind of fired back at Cam Newton. And what Tua said in his comments were pretty interesting. Tua was basically saying not everybody can play quarterback. It's hard to play quarterback in this league. And basically just saying that it's easier to talk about the sport than it is to actually be on the field. And I somewhat do agree with him when it comes to that, but I just think that those comments were directed towards the wrong person. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, because
part of me wants to admit to say anybody can go 0-3. Anybody, can really look at the optics and say, hey, dog, but did I lie, though? But this is where we have to understand, do I feel a certain type of way? Absolutely not. I've said what I said, and I'll stand on what I said. This Tua Tagovailoa that we have seen within the last 12 months is not something and someone that is indicative of what we've seen before. I use the reference as quiet Tua, Alabama Tua, Tua under Nick Saban, and everybody understands where I'm coming from. When I see the situation that has taken place in Miami, it's more Love Island drama than football.
Because Cam Newton, as much criticism that I've given Cam over the past couple of, seasons when I watched him play or whatever the case may be, we can all agree that Cam Newton was a difference maker for the Carolina Panthers when he was in his prime and when he was playing at a very, very high level in the NFL, dating back to, I believe, was it the 2015 season when he won the MVP and he made it all the way to the Super Bowl. Now, granted, he didn't win the Super Bowl because of, him not falling on the fumble and all this other stuff, yada, yada, yada. But if we're going to be honest here, man, Cam Newton was by far a way better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa could ever imagine to be, and just recently Tua was saying something about Josh Allen and how Josh Allen can do some amazing things on the field that he can't do. Basically just glazing Josh Allen and giving him props and stuff like that. But At the same time, though, man, when you're coming out and telling your the fastest wide receiver in the NFL that you can't put the ball where it needs to be for him to go and get it, he might have to come back to it, and you're throwing late game interceptions that's costing the Miami Dolphins football games. Your team is 0-3. You have a hard time playing in cold weather. You what else? What else we got? You don't beat teams over 500. I think you've won you're maybe 5-16 against teams with a winning record. So you're only beating up on cupcake teams. Yeah, man, criticism is very, very well warranted, Now, do I like Tua as an NFL quarterback? I think I would take Tua over a guy like Trevor Lawrence, right now, because I've seen Tua be able to put up numbers when he has the right pieces around him and when everything is just flowing perfectly for him. I could see Tua doing some things, minus the injuries and all that. I could see Tua being a valuable starting quarterback in the NFL in the right situation, of course. And I feel like with Mike McDaniel and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, I definitely feel like Tua Tagovailoa has been underperforming for the Miami Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. They've made it to the playoffs maybe once or twice from the last time I could remember, but hasn't really gotten too far in the playoffs. Earlier in Tua's career, he had a lot of issues with the head coach and Brian Flores and how Brian Flores treated him. We all know Brian Flores wasn't a Tua fan at all. So they got rid of Brian Flores. They brought Mike McDaniel in here. Now Tua has played his best football of his career, but the injuries held him back a little bit, and his lack of arm strength, man, is holding him back. You know what I'm saying? So, do I agree with Cam Newton when he's saying that Tua's making a lot of money, when it comes to making more money than Jalen Hurts, when it comes to making more money than this dude and this dude, and he's not living up to expectations? I kind of do agree with him, man. But at the same time, man, the Miami Dolphins, they made their bed and they have to lay in it because they paid Tua all this money and didn't let him play out his contract to really get a thorough evaluation on him. But so now the Miami Dolphins are 0-3. The season looks like it's not really going anywhere. There have been a lot of rumors circulating around that Miami Dolphins when it comes to trading Tyreek Hill, blowing up the team essentially because, Tua's not playing up to par and Mike McDaniels could be on the hot seat as well. We really just don't know, man, but there's been a lot of bad quarterback play all around the NFL, you know what I'm saying? So, but it seems like Tua, him playing on prime time, him getting blown out by the Indianapolis Colts, him failing to win a winnable game against the New England Patriots has kind of put a target on him in the media, you know what I'm saying? Especially when he's coming out and, sending shots back, you know what I mean? But, Tua right now, I can understand where he's coming from at the same time as well because his team is 0-3 and people are just sitting around asking him, is he going to be here next year or what's going on? How do you fix this? You know what I mean? Because it's really not all on him. It's not really all on Tua. It's the Miami Dolphins in general. But he is a big, big problem right now for the Miami Dolphins offense. You know what I'm saying? Because Tua just has to learn how to take care of the football a little better. That's never really been an issue for him dating back to his days in Alabama. But just this season, man, the man just he's turning the ball over at a high clip right now. And he's turning the ball over in the worst times of the game, like late in the fourth quarter, throwing interceptions and putting the team in a bad situation. I have no idea who the Miami Dolphins play this week, man, but I definitely expect Tua to come out with a little bit of fire in his eyes this week, man, and put a good game together, man, for the Miami Dolphins, and hopefully they come out on top, man, and maybe if they do get a win, because you know what they mean, what they say. I'm sorry. winning cures all. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for the media to beat up on you when you're 0-3 and when you're not playing good. You know what I'm saying? The only thing you can do to change that is just play a little better. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they don't win but Tua looks good, that's a step in the right direction, okay? But as of right now, man, I got to side with Cam on this one, man. Tua, you're not playing your best football that we're accustomed to you playing. You know what I'm saying? You've never been like a overly gifted physically or overly physically gifted quarterback, you know what I'm saying? Like a Josh Allen, you know what I mean? But we definitely expect more from you, and I don't think that's hard to, you know what I'm saying, imagine, you know, Tua playing better football, you know, than what he is right now, because we've seen you do it. You know what I'm saying? But you just got to put it together, man. Don't get paid and, you know what I mean, disappear. You know what I'm saying? I think the hardest thing in the NFL is paid pressure. When you got that money already, now people are expecting Super Bowls. People are expecting deep playoff runs. Because what did we pay you for? You know what I mean? But y'all like, comment, share, subscribe, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Tua Tagovailoa in the Miami Dolphins situations. And was Cam Newton's criticism of Tua warranted? Y'all let me know in the comments, man. We'll have a discussion about it, man. Peace.